Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I've been getting a lot of people saying that they're just about to start their NRL22 journey or they're going to attend their first match soon. So I kind of wanted to release a video describing what goes on at a match, kind of demystify some of the stuff that happens so that you go in fully prepared and kind of know what to expect. So it's going to take a lot of pressure off you on your first match. So I took some B-roll at the February Course of Fire, kind of put together kind of a timeline of events of how things go down during the day. So hopefully it gives you a little bit more confidence going into your first match. I wish you the best of luck. It's a very fun sport. Be careful. It can be extremely addictive. So let's roll some B-roll and I'll commentate over some of it, but enjoy. Welcome back to Copper Star Precision, the channel dedicated to getting you more points at your competitive shooting matches. If you ever wanted to know what it's like to attend your first NRL22 match, this video should give you some idea. We're at the range. Get here early if you can. Most important thing is down the line, get the rifle out of the car, get it staged on the line in a case. That way the rifle can acclimate to the weather conditions, because it's coming from a hot car into a cold climate or vice versa. It may have accuracy shifts when it comes to zeroing your rifle, which we'll do here in a moment. Right now, get here early, help set up targets. People are walking down range. The range is cold, and basically the targets are being set up. We've got people with laser range finders. They are making sure the target distances are accurate. And then out here somewhere you will see zeroing boards, and we're going to have a safety briefing, and then we'll start zeroing the rifles for the match.
When moving in between stages, make sure your rifle is safe, that you have an empty chamber indicator in the rifle. I think at this point, moving forward from all clubs, it's going to be an indicator, not a mag block. So I know that's true with Rito. I know that's true with Ben Avery. Let's just get in the habit. Let's all do it. So if you don't have a flag, holler up. I've got extras. But all gear is available. If there's something you want to try, seriously, as a new shooter, give it a try. Watch what other folks do. Have fun. It's really what this is about.
So now we're at the zeroing line, and basically there are targets set up at 50 yards. In my opinion, 50 yards is the appropriate zero for rimfire rifles. There's actually another target at this range set up at 35 yards. The idea with the 35-yard zero is that all of your distances past 35 yards are going to be dialing up in elevation. I prefer a 50-yard zero, and I think 95% of competitors use a 50-yard zero. So I always get asked, centerfire is usually like 100 yards is your typical zero. Rimfire, it's 50 yards. And that's generally where the target boards will be set up. So if you want to zero at a different distance, you might not have a chance to, depending on the match. The idea with the zeroing period is you can test a few things. One, you can check your zero and adjust your zero if necessary. And you can see here, I've got my Garmin attached to my rifle, so I'm also collecting velocity data. I'm also keeping a log of that velocity data for the current temperature. It's early in the morning. Here it's a little colder for Phoenix temperatures. It's probably in the 40s. But if I, have data from these February matches, and then I have data from the summer matches where it's 90 degrees in the morning, I can get an idea of the temperature sensitivity of the ammunition that I'm using. So it's good to collect velocity data if you have a chronograph. If not, there's plenty of people with chronographs, especially with the Garmin's being so portable. A lot of people have picked those up. So don't be afraid to ask to borrow one, and make sure you have good velocity data for that ammunition that you're using. Pick a spot. I like to pick a finite aiming point, so you'll see me aiming at the bottom of sort of the diamond. I don't want to pick a middle of the bullseye. I want a very finite aiming point, so I'm either picking the bottom of the diamond or I'm actually going on the cross lines on the grid. I'm not trying to hit bullseyes here. As you can see, I had some windage dialed on from the previous X match, which was extremely windy, and so I had to make an adjustment. And it was a pretty calm day in the morning, so I was comfortable making that adjustment to my windage zero. My elevation was a little off as well. So I take a 10-shot group, and really I'm just grouping, trying to get the rifle barrel warmed up. I had cleaned the rifle recently, so I need to get the barrel re-seasoned with all that wax and lubricant down the barrel. So I wasn't really concerned with the group size at this point. I'm just kind of getting a general idea of what's going on. I did make an adjustment. I did 3/10 left. I dialed that back into my rifle scope, because I basically taking off the windage that I had from the previous match. Do another 10-shot group. And normally I wouldn't do this many shots to zero my rifle, but like I said, I had recently cleaned it, so it takes, in my case, it usually takes about 10 to 20 rounds to really start grouping the way I like to see it group and what it has been done historically. So 10-shot group, make a windage correction, another 10-shot group, I come down 1/10 of a mil, and then I go for a 5-shot group just to confirm everything, and it's looking spot on. And if I do say so myself, that is a pretty impressive group, which makes me really wonder, why did I miss so much at this match? Because the rifle did what its job. It was me. It was the guy behind the rifle that wasn't up to par. So use this time, get your zero, get comfortable, nice stable prone position, make good clean shots, fundamentals of shooting apply, breath control, try and take good stable shots so that you get an accurate zero. If you can, collect velocity data while you do this, and that way you have basically your zero and your velocity data ready for the match. So after you get done with the zeroing period, it's time to put in a chamber flag or empty chamber indicator into your rifle, unload your magazine, and then get ready for the match to begin. It's important that this is in at all times. For safety reasons, most ranges operate at a cold range, which means that you can only load a magazine when you are instructed to do so for that stage by the RO, the range officer that is running that stage. So once the stage starts, usually you're in squads. Squads can vary in size depending on how many people you have at the match. If you're in squad 3, a lot of times they'll have you start on the stage. It is your squad number. So if you're squad 3, you might start on stage 3, but it depends on the match. And then when you get to the stage, you're gonna have to see a couple of things. First, there's usually a tablet to help keep score. We also have these little clicker things for people so you can keep track of how many impacts there are. Clipboard with the stage description and a timer. So when the stage starts, what you're gonna do, someone on the stage is gonna go over the stage brief and basically say, this is the stage we're doing, these are the target distances. They're gonna help you find the targets. So, we're gonna talk about the targets, and then we're gonna look out, and everyone's gonna get on their binoculars, and they're gonna find the targets. Then you establish a shooting order. Usually, if it's the first stage of the day, it's gonna be alphabetically by last name. But as each stage goes, so the next stage, whoever was second on the stage before will then be first. So it iterates by one. That way everyone has equal opportunity to be either first or last in a stage. Sometimes it's advantageous to go later in the stage because you can kind of see what works and what doesn't work for other competitors. If you are a new shooter, usually they will let you go out of order and just go last each one of the stages. That way you can get an idea for what gear people use, what kind of wind calls they're making, ask a bunch of questions. They'll usually let you go last and not have to follow that order so that you can have plenty of time to prepare. As far as preparation goes, you want to make sure your magazines are loaded with ammunition, not loaded into your rifle. And then basically the stage will start. So when the stage starts, you'll be given the command to make ready. And if you understand the course of fire, you make ready. If you have any questions, now your time to ask. You want to be on the YouTube video, Mike? You want to make me laugh? You want to make the blooper reel?
No,
You're going on YouTube.
Put row on it.
So you're going to be given the command to make ready, which means insert the magazine, take your empty chamber flag out, make sure your scope is dialed to the dope that you want to have, make sure your parallax is set, make sure you have a game plan for the stage. Then the person running the stage will say, shooter ready, stand by, and then they'll hit the timer and they'll say engage or go or something like that. And that's when the timer starts. These stages are 2 minutes long, so you have 2 minutes from that first beep. At the end of those 2 minutes, they're gonna say time, ceasefire, basically unload and show clear. So after you're done, remove your magazine, put back your empty chamber flag, and then move off the line with all your gear so the next shooter can get ready to shoot.
There you go.
Shooter, do you understand the course of fire? Load and make ready. Shooter ready. Stand by. So here's me running a stage for a fellow competitor. Basically, ask the competitor, do you understand the course of fire? This is their chance to ask questions about positions, the target order, etc. Then you're going to say load and make ready. If they do understand the course of fire, that's when they load the magazine, take out the chamber flag, make sure your elevation is dialed, your parallax is set, your magnification is set, all of that good stuff. Then you're going to say, is the shooter ready? There's going to be some sort of nod or acknowledgement, and then there'll be a standby command, and then you hit the timer. This timer is on a little bit of delay, so you hit the timer and there's like a 3 to 5 second delay. It goes beep, stage starts, and then you'll see me kind of get back and sorry for the glare on the tablet, but I'm keeping track of the score. There's another competitor spotting impacts through binoculars, and they're going to be yelling impact. Every time there's an impact, I iterate the score by 1, and at the end, I confirm with the shooter whether they agree with the score that they got, and that's it, really. All there is to it. So 2-minute stages, and that's pretty much the stage procedure. But also, safety always applies, so make sure that you're always keeping the rifle pointed downrange. Don't break the 180 rule, which basically means don't swing your rifle, across the course of fire. Another thing to keep in mind is the idea of when you transition, you have to have the bolt back. So you're only supposed to close the bolt when you're on glass, looking at the target that you want to engage. So make sure that if you're moving between positions, like on this tank trap, the bolt is back while you're in movement. Then you put the rifle back down on another tank trap tip, and you're basically going to find the target. Once you see the target, that's when you can close the bolt and then engage that target. So it's very important that you're not closing the bolt until you're on target, and when you're moving, that bolt is back. If you're using a semi-auto, like a Ruger 1022 or something, you have to put the rifle physically on safe with the safety and audibly yell safe. So again, safety is paramount at these matches, but this is typically how a stage is run.
It's switching now.
Got you for 9. When you're not shooting, there's some things you can do if you want to help out. If you don't feel comfortable helping out, that's fine, but do realize that it helps make the match go more smoothly and gets everything done in a timely fashion. So when you're not shooting, or you're not next to shoot, so you're not, on deck to shoot, you can help out by spotting impacts if you have binoculars. So you get yourself a pair of binos, and if you're not comfortable, calling impacts or not, you let the more experienced people do it, but it's good in the sport to help out where you can. If you're not comfortable with spotting impacts, you can run the timer. And then also, if you're not comfortable with doing either of those two things, you can actually, every time there's an impact, you can record on the tablet. Usually you just hit a little plus button. There's a practice score app. Basically, you just, every time you hear impact, you just increment by 1, or sometimes they have a template that's either hit or miss for each shot. So you either click hit or you click miss for each shot. At the end of the stage, you will hit review at the bottom of the screen. You'll confirm with the competitor, hey, I got you for 7 out of 10. They confirm, you hit approve. Sometimes there's a signature, sometimes there's not. Depends on the things used in the app, the settings that are set up, the match director has set up for the app. But basically, you can keep time, you can spot for impacts, or you can keep score. Usually, it's better if one person does each of those things, if your squad is big enough. That way, there's not one person doing a lot of things, but in smaller squads, you might have to do double or triple duty. So that's one way you can help out during the match. So after the match is done, hopefully you did a good job, hopefully you had a lot of fun. Stick around. Usually you case and uncase your rifles on the firing line, so put all your gear away so that the line can become clear. Help pack up the barricades, fold up the pyramid, fold up shooting mats, any of the props used. Usually there's a staging area, someone gets a truck, puts them back in a shipping container or something like that, whatever the club rules are. But basically, do that, stick around. Once the range is cold, all the rifles are off the line. We can go down range and we can start bringing in targets. So bring in the targets, the target hangers, KYL racks, all that good stuff. Bring that back, help out the match director. It helps a lot, saves them time, so they're not doing everything. They're already putting a lot of effort into organizing the match for everyone, so make sure that you help out, stick around, clean up. And usually, if you're doing things on practice score using the app to tabulate, what happens is they'll sync all of the tablets. So you'll sync all these tablets together, and basically you should know at the end of the match who the winner is, top base class, top lady, top military, top old gun, top adaptive, etc. So you can stick around to the end of the match. Hey, match director here. So stick around, make sure you help clean up, and then find out how you did. So hopefully that gave you some good insight into kind of what you can expect at your first NRL22 match, and in general how the matches are run. So again, safety is paramount. Attend the safety briefing, really pay attention to the range rules and all of that good stuff. There's a zeroing period usually. Make sure your rifle is dialed in, get your velocities, make sure you're zeroed. And then, basically the match starts and stages go pretty much how I outlined. There's all the different commands, how to start the stage, make sure you have everything you need. You have a loaded magazine, only insert that when you're told to do so. Make sure you have your dope set, your parallax set, your magnification set. Have a game plan going into the stage, and try and make those impacts and be as successful as possible. So if it's your first match, don't go expecting going in there to win. It's a steep learning curve if you haven't done this sort of shooting competition before, but it can be a lot of fun. Everyone is there to have fun at the end of the day. Stay safe and have fun. And if you are a seasoned shooter and you have a new shooter in your squad, be an ambassador for the sport. The more the sport grows, the better it is for everyone. So try and help out where you can, loan gear to other people who need it. And like I said, just be a good ambassador for the sport. I try and do that. I try and do that sort of through this YouTube platform, and to get more people interested in the sport, because it is a lot of fun. And when you go to a match and it's your first match, or even myself, someone who's been shooting for years, it's really easy to get frustrated if you're not doing well. But at the end of the day, mental game is a huge part of this game as well. So don't get frustrated, especially if you're new. I know how it feels. I've been there. I've been at the bottom of the leaderboard, and just look at it as an opportunity to improve and, learn from your mistakes, ask questions, rely on other competitors. Everyone's there to have a good time and help. Some people can be very competitive, but at the end of the day, we're all there to have fun, and it's, better than sitting at home and doing nothing on a Saturday or Sunday. So I hope this video helped. If it did, maybe it earned a subscription down below. Don't forget to like and comment while you're down there. Ask me any questions that you have. Don't forget, we're giving away a MDT bipod in the month of February, so make sure you're entered to that competition if you'd like to receive, or a chance to receive, an MDT bipod. And yeah, lots more videos like this coming out. Let me know what you want to see in future videos. And until I see you next time, as always, score more points.